Hello and welcome to Commerce Chats. It's Krish here, in a little bit of a different location, as you can tell. Not on Zoom this time and not doing it virtually, we're actually in person. We are here on the campus at the University of Cambridge for EICOM's Leading Digital Transformation Executive Program. We've been here for nearly a week with professionals like my guest here, who I'll shortly introduce. We've been surrounded and immersed in deep digital transformation knowledge. It's been an incredible week so far. The week is not over yet, but we've managed to get a little bit of time here to have a commerce chat. So, without any further ado, let me introduce my guest. My guest is Helson Santos. Helson, it's amazing to have you here. Thank you very much. How's your time been here so far?
Yeah, it's been great. This is my, I think, second or third time in London, but this is my first time in Cambridge. I'm really enjoying the city and the atmosphere here, and to be connected with the other students and like brilliant minds and good teachers. Yeah, I'm enjoy a lot.
Amazing. So, Cambridge is a very special place. Once you're here, there's a very much a learning atmosphere, a learning vibe. I think it really connects with digital transformation, the mix of the old traditions and the new future that we talk about every day, which is awesome. This edition of Commerce Chats is CEO Secrets. So, Elson, I know a little bit about what you do, but could you tell our audience and myself as well a bit
Yes.
more about what you do, where you do it, and how you got to where you are right now? Would love to know more about you.
Okay, so basically we are a tech startup based in São Paulo, Brazil. We are a SaaS, software as a service platform. So we work together with enterprise companies, basically brick and mortar retailers. The thing that we do, we enable brick and mortar retailers to process orders that they are selling online using the physical stores. And a couple of customers that we have, they also use a dark store. So dark store is a concept of a store that you have no offline customers. Yeah. So where's the second question?
The second question is, how did you get to where you've got to? How are you now running this organization, running this business?
Okay. Yeah. So the things started in 2017. So I used to work for a Germany company in Brazil, and they were responsible to provide technology for distribution center. And at that time, I had an opportunity to help several retailers in Brazil, and I saw a huge opportunity how to empower retailers in order to connect them to the customer, to the consumer. And the gap that we had was technology and logistics. Like the operation part and the design part, how to do a fulfillment in a distribution center and now in a physical store. So we saw this gap, we saw this opportunity, and then we started our own business.
So let's dial it back a little bit there, because you said a few things for our audience and for me mainly as well. So the company is called Logstore.
Logstore, yes.
Based in Brazil.
Based in Brazil, yes.
Based in Brazil. And it's a fulfillment service, and I'm summarizing this, but it's a fulfillment service.
Yes.
From selling to delivery in sort of one click. I think you say this quite a bit. Could you tell us more about this fulfillment service? What exactly is it that you do to help businesses?
Good. Basically, we said we are a digital platform. So
Right.
the retailers, they are selling in different channels. They are selling via e-commerce, via app, via marketplace, via chat as well.
To different channels.
Yeah, in different channels. So the thing that we do, we don't sell. We just help them when they sell something. So we are connected with all platforms, the digital platforms that they have. And once they sell something, we check it. So which store has a perfect match for that order,
Right.
and then we started the process that we call it in-store order fulfillment. So we help a person in store is using a mobile phone, usually is the seller of the store, the salesperson. So the guy receive a message say, hey, there is an order to prepare, and we need to dispatch this order in in an hour,
Right.
let's say. And then the guy just assigned the order to himself, and then he started the journey in the store, like guided by our application. So our platform helped them how to which order should be processed
Right.
in the first, second the picking process, the packing process, the sometimes he needs to talk with the customer because he doesn't found the product on the shelf, so we help them, so it's out of stock. Can I change for another product, or
Right.
should I call to the customer? Or usually when I don't have this product, which product should I replace to them? And the end of the journey is the last mile, but we don't do the last mile. We just integrate this order with the carriers that we have in our connected in our platform.
That's really interesting. So that's quite niche. I think you're in a specific part of the sales process and the fulfillment process. So not working with last mile after someone has sold something. That's where you fit in with Logstore. I feel like
Exactly.
that's interesting. So as a CEO, as someone who is a business founder, an entrepreneur, what were the early days like at Logstore? If you can cast your mind back to when you first started, what was it like? Were you on your own? Where were you operating out of? What was that like? What was the experience like?
Yeah, in the beginning is always a challenge. It's not so easy, and actually we pivot 3 times. So the kind of
Wow.
business that we have and the product market fit that our customers helped us to found was not the same in the beginning. So in the beginning we started with the same ideal customer profile, the same ISP, but we started in a distribution center. We actually we used to sell hardwares as well.
Oh wow.
So and then we pivot, and the idea that behind to pivot the hardware part, it's because we were becoming just like a traditional company,
Right.
and we would like to be a startup. So we'd like to bring innovation, and we'd like to replicate and to scale the business.
Mhm.
So this is the reason that we decide to pivot and leave the hardware behind. So the second part, we were selling software,
Right.
but we were not connected with the consumer. And as a B2B business, we would like to be connected somehow with the consumer. So we were far away in the distribution center. So this is the reason that we decide to do the same job, but in a store.
Mhm.
So we brought our software to the store, and then we had to be fast, So basically we help our customers, the retailers, to increase the NPS, to have the
Right.
best SLA for when they are dispatching the product. So and then we decided to create an app. So now we have a mobile app that we can like quickly connect the consumer and the retailer and do all the hard job that we
Right,
have
right.
in this process between the digital sale, the e-commerce, and the delivery part. Yeah, so this journey took around 2 years and a half. Yeah,
Wow.
and then in 2019 we managed to achieve our first goal when we were invited to go to France to present the technology. So
Mhm.
with our first customer. So and then we said, okay, I think this is the right way.
Yeah.
And then another customer started to come abroad. So was not easy because we had to change the team. We had to reorganize again the company, and the sales machine. We had to assemble 2 times. So yeah.
So
A
it's
lot
not
of job.
always been smooth sailing, right? It's not always been a straight road. It's been taking different paths. But you touched upon something interesting there, which I really want to explore. So this is what I enjoy about Commerce Chats. We get to really understand and ask you the questions that people want to know about. People have curiosities about. So how did you build this team? What's your approach or strategy? Because in companies like Helson's, we've got we've got tech, we've got people, we've got operations. How are you balancing this? How are you building the team? What's your strategy?
Yeah, so good question. In the beginning, I started with my colleagues, so I invited all the guys that I knew at the time about logistics.
Right.
So, and then we said, like, we were becoming a traditional company,
Mm-hmm.
he said, I have the same guys from the same sector. It means that we will build the same thing that the other has. So does it make sense? And then we decide to mix the team. I was at that time the only guy with a logistic background because I had this in my career. And then we hired like different people, like people from bank, people from like an automobile company,
So
people from retail.
you diversified this thought, right? I think is
Exactly.
what you're trying to do.
Exactly.
Right,
Because they didn't know like how the logistics works. It means that they started to ask like fun things or
Right, okay,
naive
interesting.
things, all the time, and then you had to think in a different way
Mhm.
to give an answer. And they said, yeah, maybe this is easy, maybe this is better than the other version that we had. So in order to do not have a bias,
Yes.
so we decided to have this mixed team. And then we once we achieved the first goals, we decided to we had to hire more IT guys.
Mm-hmm.
And to do this we had to be creative again.
Yes,
We
yeah,
had to
absolutely.
find another way. And then we tried like different things. So nowadays the thing that we have is we are trying to have like a e-games
Yeah.
e-game team, because most part of the IT guys, they like games.
Okay.
So they want to be part of the team of the e-games.
Right. Okay.
And then the consequence, they have another maybe in our team. Another thing, they like to be volunteer. So this generation in general, they want to be a volunteer. So we are creating like a department in our company that
Right.
this guy will be responsible to teach other younger guys that are coming to
Like a
to
mentorship
develop.
kind of
Yes,
scheme,
like a
isn't
mentorship. Because the thing that we discover is people usually they want to teach something or learn something,
Yes.
and this is that we are trying to do all the
And,
time.
and these things I'm assuming here, they must affect your metrics that you have for staff turnover, staff retention, keeping these people that you work with happy and
Yes.
feeling enriched and fulfilled, I think is important. But interesting point, I think this is a great little CEO secret here, which was avoiding having that tunnel vision when you're hiring people by hiring people that do what you do already. So when you mentioned hiring bankers, hiring people that are in different fields, so that you've got a diverse thought, and I think that's a really interesting fact that you did. So I want to jump onto something else here, which is Logstore is in a very interesting and dynamic market of e-commerce, the digital space. What do you see as the future challenge when you're building this company of yours? There's macroeconomic, geopolitical factors at play, but what is it for you as a CEO? What's something that you think is a challenge?
Yeah, so we are running a business to be global. Our main goal is to be the app of the store. We have like several like digital platforms and several careers, but we want to be the main one, the first choice for the stores in different sectors. And when they're thinking globally, the challenges are very high.
Yeah, of course.
There are a lot of challenges. And one thing that we believe in the future, not in a short term, we will have an ecosystem based in specialized tools.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So instead of to have a one-stop shop solution, the future will be more like combined best-in-class platforms that
Right.
they will manage to work together. We already have it because like microservice and API, so you can quickly connect both different solutions. But the challenge that we have here is because the companies are not integrated. So it means that we need to integrate teams, integrate companies in order to, in advance, to understand what you have in your roadmap, and then I can maybe develop the same thing in order to be in the same path, the same pace with you.
So is this, just want to drill down into this, are you talking about specific business units in your company? You want to make sure that they're talking to each other inside the company? Is
Yeah,
that
with the other teams, with the other companies, with
other
other partners.
right?
Like,
Okay.
let's suppose you have like
Outside.
a sales platform, and the guys are developing things for the omni-channel, and
I
as
see.
a fulfillment omni-channel platform, we should be in the same pace. You should be
Right,
like
right,
a
right.
mirror
You should be
of this
keeping up with
company,
them, right?
and
Okay.
and integrated with them, because once they come out with the new feature, we already are prepared, and then the customer, the retailer, they will not like struggle because something is updating, the other one is not update,
Right.
and then they will the retailer start to talk with the sales platform, and they decide, oh, but the other company needs to follow me, and so, but you don't have this conversation, and the retailer needs to struggle with the suppliers. But in this case, when you are connected, it means that if the retailer has a problem with my integration, or with the sales platform
Mhm.
integration, doesn't matter, because we will manage to solve it, because we are integrated as a team. Like,
And this is a time to implement, isn't it? Essentially, so when you have this delay, ultimately your customers are going to be delayed. So I find this interesting. This is this. What are you doing to combat this fear of, or actually not even a fear, this situation of being left behind when people are upgrading and things? What are you doing anything at the moment to tackle this challenge?
yeah, so we are working together with our partners. We call it like it's more than when you have like a channel or a partner. It's more like to be like the same team, like as an extension of the other company.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and the things that we are doing is to work together to be as close as we can, and then to share our vision, our roadmap with them, in order to have the same pace.
Is it challenging? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because the things that the companies are doing, majority, they decide to develop their own like
Right.
technology.
In isolation,
Yeah,
everyone is.
and then
Okay,
you started with the sales, and then we want to have the logistic parts, and then
Right.
you have the POS, and then the payment, and so on. But when you have a lot of things in your umbrella, you started to do not be the best in class at solution, because you have a lot of things to take care,
Yes.
and then you encourage the retailer to develop their own technology, because, oh, you are slow, you're not delivering
Exactly.
as fast as you can. And when you have a niche, you have the thing that I think is the most important thing for the retailers. You have speed, and then the guy can test fast, and then the guy can implement very fast,
Exactly. Yeah.
and you have like
It's a speed, right? You've
yeah,
got this momentum, and things aren't being slow or delayed, and the time wasted is sales not being made, right? And yeah, lack of moving forward. I want to flip the topic here a little bit and change the subject a little bit. So Logstore is in a unique, I think, like you mentioned, a niche position in e-commerce. So when we talk about acquisition of customers, it feels like in e-commerce we talk really heavily about acquisition, but then sometimes once a delivery's been made of a certain product or service, sometimes we can stop the conversation, and the conversation ends and it goes back to acquisition, or it stays at acquisition. So what do you think of that? What's your view on this focus? Do you think it should shift to go beyond acquisition sometimes, or what's your thoughts on that?
So when you're talking about acquisitions, about like the consumer,
Yes,
to bring
exactly.
more consumer,
Bringing more
to
consumers.
buy.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we have been seeing a lot of movements for acquisition, like
Right.
live commerce, social commerce,
Yes.
and different kinds of ways to sell and
Innovative strategies.
strategies, exactly. But the problem here is because we are increasing the number of ways that we are bringing customers aboard. But we have a problem when you don't have like a good fulfillment process.
Right.
So it means that the customer has like a high experience online, so they give a high NPS, and then you ruin it because you don't know how to do the fulfillment like as good as we sell the things online. And then we think that the best thing to do is not to invest only in acquisition, but
Right.
part of this acquisition be transforming in recurrency, like recurring. Like instead of to acquire new customers all the time, is to keep that customer, like in a loyalty program,
Right.
like to keep that customer because you are delivering fast. You can keep the SLA, you can increase the NPS in the end.
Yeah. Right.
So I want to create like a high experience in the sales part, and I want to increase the experience
Right.
in the delivery part. So it's to grow up and
To
not
grow
to
up. Okay.
and not to be up and then go down.
That's interesting. I love that little fact. So having that experience go higher is more sustainable for the business eventually, because the customer stays, they have the loyalty, the average lifetime value of this customer retains high, it stays high and keeps going higher.
Yes.
I find that interesting. What's the real cost then of when deliveries go wrong and that fulfillment goes wrong? It seems like a hidden cost, a hidden negative cost.
Yeah.
Is it something? It must be difficult to measure when deliveries go wrong. How is that? What's the process?
Yeah. So basically, when you sell something, you now you have to keep your margin, your profit.
Yes.
So, and then when the thing starts to go wrong, so basically pretty much the fulfillment part or the logistic parts, they are always keeping the eyes on like how many movements you are doing,
Right.
and the amount of time that you are spending in that order.
Mm-hmm.
So when the thing starts to go wrong, you start to decrease your profit or your margin, or maybe you not have margin at all,
Right.
and then you start to lose money. And then this is the reason that guy says, "Oh, e-commerce sometimes is not a good deal because they don't know how to handle it in this situation." Yeah, so pretty much the companies are spending around like 20% of the revenue with the logistics. So it means that it's very easy to consume this margin.
Interesting. Just to go back to your entrepreneurial side,
Yeah.
and Logstore, what's your, if you could think about this question, I think is I'm fascinated by this, but what's your role in e-commerce as Logstore? What do you summarize it as? Where do you feel, what's your elevator pitch to people to say this is why we're at the table of e-commerce, this is why we're here?
Yeah, so we are here just to fill this gap between the sales part and the delivery part. So
Sales part and
and delivery part, and there is a gap here. So usually the guy from the commercial department come to say, "Yo, we want to invest more in market and sell more." Acquisition, exactly. And then they will send the order to the store, and the guy will, they will manage to sort it. So basically, Logstore exists to increase the NPS and to keep the SLA that you have an agreement with your customer.
Okay.
Yeah. So Logstore is here to fill this gap and help the brick and mortar retailers to do it like in a smooth way, with no friction for the consumer.
That's amazing. Do you feel as well that Brazil and South America, Latin America, do you feel it's a different space to work in compared to other parts of the world? You mentioned someone in France that you might be working with. What's the relationship like with Brazil and e-commerce? Do you feel like it's a different place compared to everywhere else?
Yeah, I mean the challenge is the same. So basically, no matter what you are selling online, you need to prepare the order and you need to deliver to the customer.
The concept stays
the
same.
the concept is the same. Of course, we have some cultures different between each country. In Brazil, usually we the tracking that we do, like about the order and about the picker, about the reserves that we have, it's a little bit higher because you need to check the logs and so on. In the other countries, they usually trust more in the staff. You say, "Oh, something happened," it's because something happened. So it means that you don't need to track the staff all the time like we do in Brazil. But the amount of orders that we have in Brazil, you can compare with the other countries,
That's
because we have like
interesting.
we don't have like in other countries that we talk like 50 minutes delivery or
No,
1 hour
no.
delivery. So the consumer, the behavior of the consumer in these countries, they are okay about the time. But in
Right.
Brazil, we are anxious and we want to receive as fast as we
It's
can.
rapid delivery for all things. I think that was something I experienced in Brazil as well. The consumer behavior is different, and that's I
Yes.
think we forget that when it comes to the fulfillment side. Just sticking with the entrepreneurial side of your career, if you could go back and speak to yourself as now a CEO, what kind of secret or what tip would you give to yourself if you could talk to yourself maybe 5 years ago or at the start of Logstore?
Yeah, that's a good question. I always make fun about to be entrepreneur. I said that there is two paths:
Sure.
be entrepreneur or be happy.
Okay.
No, it's just I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be a entrepreneur. It's very like we learn a lot of things and we have the possibility to teach a lot of things at the same time. But yeah, if I could have an advice for me, I think the main one is product market fit. So
Product
in the
market fit,
beginning,
okay.
doesn't matter if you have investment or not, if you have a team or not, if you like if you have the resources or not, if you don't feel that you have the product market fit. And the product market fit is like to riding a bike, but when you don't feel that you have, it's riding a bike going up to the hill.
Okay.
So you need to put a lot of energy. But when you find it, it's like to going down. You don't need to,
Yeah,
to put
okay.
much effort to go down. And it changed a lot because when we got it, we had an opportunity to hire the right people,
Mm.
to go to the market in the right way, to find the best venture capital companies that could come board and helping us investing money in this product market fit that
Sure.
we discovered.
And that came later. This finding capital, this finding venture capital, that came later. The first thing was product market fit, right? I think
Yes.
that's an important thing. So you'd say that to yourself. Focus on getting the right product.
Yeah,
Figuring
focus.
that out
Yeah,
first.
test a lot, and until you feel that you have it.
Yeah.
And why we usually say that you have to feel, because it's not something that you said, oh, this is my product market fit.
Right.
It's not something that you tell to yourself. It's something that the market will tell you. That
Interesting.
because they will start to come and asking a lot about the solution that we have. And then for me, this is the secret sauce.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
everything that you start to build after this, you manage to succeed.
Interesting. So just coming on to something that's piqued my interest is when you're going back to building a team, creating an organization, do you find that some of the people that you're looking for may have knowledge gaps or anything? Is there something that you think in the market people aren't studying enough about?
About product market.
About e-commerce, and whether it's technical skills, whether it's strategies, whether it's something to do with coding or fulfillment or marketing. Is there something that in the market where professionals don't know enough about, you think, in e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, e-commerce is it's very dynamic.
Sure.
So they change a lot. So even if you have someone that know it, they need to continue improve the knowledge is about e-commerce, because we are the customers are changing all the time the way that they buy it. So and then part of it's better to fill some gaps, like to have some people that already has some knowledge about e-commerce, but at the same time it's better to have people that are looking for to build something and change something, that they are not comfortable with the things that we have
An
already.
attitude, mindset.
Exactly.
It's more
Like
important.
we always say, like, let's break this status quo.
Right.
Like it doesn't make sense when people, this is the thing that you need to do because this is the right way. But okay, take the right way, keep with you, and let's try to check if there is another way to do
Right.
the same thing. And when you don't have resource, when you don't have like big team, you need to think better about it. So I think this kind of soft skills, it's good, you know, to have.
I like this emotional intelligence conversation where we can really assess ourselves and identify our own knowledge gaps. Which brings me on to I always want to talk about EICOM Institute. We have so many different initiatives that accelerate education and best practices in digital transformation, ranging from our CMX certification. If you're looking to solidify your experience, if you're looking to certify your skills, we have our executive program, which Helson is joining us on, where we're speaking from, and a whole host of other things, including online courses as well. I encourage you to visit acom.org, encourage you to subscribe to our channel so you can listen to more of these conversations. Write any comments in the chat box below. Helson, maybe we can send some of the questions if we receive some. But it's been a pleasure to talk to you, learn more about your business, and to understand some of the challenges as well that you think that your business might face in the future, and e-commerce generally. So yeah, amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks
you. Thanks, Helson.
Yeah.
And thank you, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.